The animation I am going to do here is going to be a fairly straightforward ball bounce. If you want to do that with me once and then go back and start adding weight to your spheres, there is nothing wrong with that. The first thing I'm going to do is check my time slider. I'm at frame 1. I've got 24 frames right now, and I may need more than that, but this will get me started. At frame 1, I'm going to move the ball up to a high point. It looks like mine is at about 8, almost 9 units. So I will right-click on Translate Y and key selected. Now my auto keyframe button is turned on. So when I go through this, every time I change the time slider position and then change the position of the sphere, Maya is going to set a new keyframe for me. So at frame 12, I am going to set Translate Y to 0, and that means that between frames 1 and 12, the ball is going to drop down and hit the floor. That's a good start. Next, I'll come out to about frame 18, and of course, when a ball hits the floor, it doesn't just drop and stop, it bounces back up. So I'll pull this up maybe about half as high as it was before. And then at frame 24, I will drop that back down to 0 again. And now I'm going to need a few more frames. So maybe at frame 28, I will come up again about halfway to what it was last time. And then at frame 32, back down to 0, I will do one more very tiny bounce. At frame 34, I'll come up just a little tiny bit, and at frame 36, I will go back to 0. In my graph editor, I'm going to just hit the F key on my keyboard so I can see my graph. And there is my initial bouncing ball. There's something about it that looks a little bit funky, but the thing that I like is that it's making an up and down motion. That's great. That's my first animation. Now at this point, if I don't like the timing of what's happening, if I feel that maybe these first bounces are too evenly spaced, I can go back and start manipulating some of the keyframes to change the spacing. Maybe I want this last bounce to be a little bit quicker. Maybe I want to do one more teeny tiny bounce at the very end. This is a great time to just take my timing and set up my timing. I will pause here. When I come back, I will adjust things in the graph editor to get rid of some of the awkwardness in this animation.